All right, everybody. It is week 13. That means it's playoff time. The Dynasty Rewind weekly waiver wire show coming at you. We're winding down on the season, and I'll tell you what, it's kind of a heartbreaker, but it's been a long time coming. We're excited to get those rookie breakdowns coming to you, but still got to get to the championship first, and that starts tonight with the week 13 waiver wire show starting now.
You are now listening to the Dynasty Rewind.
All right, everybody. Week 13 is here. Like I said before, playoffs, man. Playoffs. They are right here. They're not around the corner anymore. We are on the corner. We're at the corner. It's playoff time. It doesn't matter. So I'm your host again, Michael Bauer. We have a very special guest tonight. We're going to get to him shortly. Let's introduce the crew. We got Nate Christian. How's it going, Nate?
It's going pretty well. I'm excited for the playoffs. A couple leagues I've made it in, a couple leagues I didn't, but that's just how it goes.
Yeah, it's there's some. It's weird. It's the teams that I thought were not going to do well are doing pretty good. It's teams I thought were going to do good. Like my son's a dynasty team. They're just not doing good at all. And he's in the same league. We got Porkman. What's good, Porkman?
Nothing much, man. I'm pretty excited. Found out that I made the playoffs for Scott Fishbowl, so I'm pretty excited about that. My first year, so let's get moving.
I did not.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott pick kind of screwed me over there, but he'll be back next year. And joining us, we have our guest. You could find him on Twitter at the Dynasty Depot. In real life, you could find him. His name is Nels Verbit. Nels, how we doing tonight?
Hey, boys. How you doing? Really nice to be here, and thank you very much for the invitation.
Yeah, of course. So thank you for joining us. I know you're away right now. Hopefully you're enjoying your time. So thank you for taking some time out of your family time to spend it with us. But yeah, we kind of think of ourselves like a family here. So listen, I know you got a bunch of stuff you want to talk about. I was told that you do a lot of stuff with FFPC. Now, I've heard of FFPC. I don't know exactly what it is. Could you take some time to explain that to us, please?
Yeah, man. Again, thanks again for having me on. FFPC is the largest high-stakes platform there is out there, especially in Dynasty. Leagues run from $77 all the way up to $5,000 leagues, and it's really where the big boys hang out there. They have somewhere between 12 and 15,000 Dynasty teams currently playing on FFPC, and it's growing massively every year. It's great. In redraft, right now they have going on their $500,000 main event. Not sure if you heard of Football Guys, but the Football Guys Players Championship, $500,000. That's also going on, and we are in week 1 of the playoffs right now for the redraft events. Of course, Dynasty ends week 13, but it's somebody that we decided to get into business with, and we're really comfortable with their platform and their integrity. They've never had a league fold. And with all those teams, that's saying something.
Yeah, it's great. When you said they've never had a league fold, I mean, I'm sure that if somebody leaves, there's somebody right there to just step right in their place, correct?
There is, and then I came along. Now there's another option.
Great. So I'll tell you what, how did you start Dynasty Depot, and how do they work with FFPC? I mean, there's a lot of moving parts here, but I'm really excited about what I'm hearing.
So Dynasty Depot was created by me and a friend of mine, Rick, to create action in the off season. Because we all know the season's over. It kind of sucks. Everybody has their dynasty team. You're going to do your draft picks. But what are you doing with the teams you don't want? What are you doing with your premium teams that maybe don't have longevity? What are you doing? So what we did is we created a market for FFPC dynasty teams where we figure when we launch on January 4th, there'll be somewhere between 200 and 500 teams up for sale on this marketplace. So as a buyer, you'll be able to filter through teams by league, best ball, superflex, best ball, standard, filter by dollar denominations, and go ahead and place a bid exactly like you would on eBay. As a seller, you'll be able to put a team up. You'll be able to put a reserve on that team, just like on eBay, put a buy it now, and put your team up for sale on the marketplace. You'll have 1, 3, and 5 day timelines to put your team up for sale. And we think there's just going to be a tons of transactions. We know that, last year there's about 800 teams that were orphaned out there, and we know those teams, instead of getting nothing, would much rather put their teams up for sale on Dynasty Depot.
Okay. Detroit Beastie checking and saying this idea is fantastic, $1 million idea. So, hey, head on over January 4th.
We think it is. And Detroit Beastie, I'm going to tell you something that's even better. We created what's called the Dynasty Depot leaderboard.
Just about to ask you about that. Yeah.
So this is insane. So I feel like one of those car guys. This is insane. So say you want to buy a $77 team because you're new in Dynasty, and you go ahead and win the team, say for $10. Okay. That team, you work the Nate Magic, which Nate does with his teams, as we all know, the Magic Man. So he takes that team, spins it around. He comes in the next season. He starts playing that $77 team that he bought for $10. Each week, your points will transfer from FFPC to the Dynasty Depot leaderboard. So Nate scores 200 week 1. It hits that leaderboard. Every team purchased on Dynasty Depot in a category of standard, best ball, super flex, best ball, you'll land in that division. You'll be playing a game within a game just because you purchased a team on our site. Now, I'm going to tell you, first place in each division is an FFPC $2,000 main event seat where you can win up to $500,000. So Nate, being the player that he is, spent $10, got technically a satellite into the FFPC main event, and won himself $500,000. Second place is a $500 dynasty team. Who doesn't want a $500 dynasty team? So the FFPC points will transfer to the Dynasty Depot leaderboard, and we're really excited about that.
That's awesome.
Dude, that's fantastic. Like, I'm ready to go sign that. I can't wait till January 4th, to be honest with you. I'm definitely going to go check that out. So that's fantastic. You said you and your partner Rick came up with this. I mean, we always say that we want more action in the off season, but you didn't just talk about it. You guys, you made the action happen. You're bringing it to everybody. So it's one of those things where if you're looking to step up your game, if you're kind of bored with just your $20, $50 buy-in home league, and you think that you're really good at this, this is definitely for you. I mean, this is, it sounds like this is running with the big boys here. This isn't for the faint of heart.
It is, Mike. It's running with the big boys so much that I don't know if you heard, out in Vegas, they just opened a new hotel called Circa. It has the largest sports book in the world. They are a sister company of the D Hotel and the Golden Gate out there. We took this idea to them, and they liked it so much they became our site sponsor immediately. Oh, wow. They said, this is good. We want to be involved immediately. There is a small caveat, which I say you do need a membership to trade teams on our site. So right now we're offering, what we have is our All-Pro membership, which will give you, every time a new team gets posted, you don't have to go on to Dynasty Depot to find it. The new team gets posted, you'll get a text notification, new team posted. Simply, you're on your phone going about your daily business, click on your phone and go ahead and bid on it right there. So we're offering, with the membership code Charter20 is our promo code, Charter20 at dynastydepot.com. That'll get you an all-pro membership, I think, for $59. You also get a free $60 Roster Watch Pro subscription. Roster Watch is who we think is the finest content people in the industry. They're going to be providing us with exclusive Dynasty rankings, which will be like no others. And our membership's open now at Dynasty Depot. Use Charter20, get involved, try it. You don't like it, let me know about it. I'll give you your money back. It's something that it's going to create action. It's going to give you things to do. Say you're a great drafter, Nate, and you draft maiden teams. Okay, who doesn't like drafting? You draft a maiden team. You're so good at it, Nate, that you could put that team up for sale before you ever play it down. So you can essentially be day trading dynasty teams on Dynasty Depot. There's a lot of ideas. There's a lot of moving parts to this, but it's time to get involved. We launch auctions on January 4th. We are hitting Sirius XM radio starting December 21st. You're going to hear our ads on the Fantasy Channel all over the place. We're hitting this hard. We're all in on this project.
So I put that promo code right at the bottom of the screen here. We're going to leave that up here for a little while. So Charter 20 over at dynastydepot.com. So, hey, listen, you can't play Monkey Knife Fight or anything else like that, especially who knows what's going to happen with COVID. Are they going to have NCAA? Are they going to have this or that? So, if you're a guy that likes to move your money around a little bit and make it happen, you now have a way to do that. You have something to do. Mm-hmm. And, as you said, you're on your phone anyway. So make that time work for you. So, hey, run with the big boys, dynastydepot.com. They're going to bring you the heat. I love what I'm hearing. I'm going to
impressed.
Yeah, I'll tell you what,
Nate. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of businesses, what they're trying to do is, infiltrate a new market with a new, old market with a new idea. But it sounds like Dynasty Depot is just creating a whole new market of fantasy football. I mean, this is awesome, man.
When we thought of it, like I said, the whole thing was built as how can we create some action in the off season? Well, being the fact I own 110 dynasty teams, I'm like, how the hell can I get rid of some of these teams? Now, it's not just selling bad teams, it's selling the teams that win championships this year. You take a $500 team that wins a championship for $3,500 this year. Well, I'll take the $3,500. Maybe I'll sell that $500 team for $1,250, add on to my profit, let somebody else deal with it next year.
Yep.
It's all about making money.
I got to interrupt. 110?
Yes, sir.
Dynasty.
Yeah.
Do you play any redraft too? Or
I do. I'm in a bunch of main events. I'm in some playoffs right now. I have a bunch of best balls. Everything with me is on the FFPC platform. It's the best platform there is out there.
So if my wife is still awake and watching, you said I'm in too many leagues. I want to throw all this out here. I mean, that's, in all fairness, it's getting a bit much. And there's some leagues I don't like that much. So I'm probably going to leave some of them just, not.
Well,
whatever.
you can sell them now.
Yes, that's true.
We're gonna bring you over to the dark side, Mike, and get you over there playing with the big boys here and have some fun, man.
There are some teams where I think Porkman can attest they would pay me to keep them. They might be that bad, but listen, the productive struggle is real on that Sons of Dynasty team, Porkman. You know that, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah, you got to go on though.
Yeah, I'm trying to not score 1,000 points the whole year, and I'm getting there too. Starting Brandon Allen was certainly helpful in that regard. So now, I'm sure I'm going to have some questions pop into my mind. So I'll just interrupt whoever's talking and ask you a question then. Now, Nate said he might not be able to stay the whole time, or he might only be able to stay a little bit. Nate, before I forget, I want to tell you, we need to talk about the show schedule then. So I will text you. I'll just text everybody. But me verbalizing it is my way of reminding myself.
All right.
I'm getting old. Who wants to talk some news real quick? I'll run through this quick. So Indianapolis Colts running back Jonathan Taylor was out last Sunday after being placed on the COVID list. So that's usually a 10-day thing. So is he going to miss this next game, or is he going to get cleared?
I've heard he's expected to play.
He's expected to play. Perfect. Pittsburgh running back James Conner was also played on the COVID list. I don't know if that game's going to get played. Apparently the NFL hates the Steelers but loves the Ravens. Nate, we could talk about that a little bit more. So Baltimore Pittsburgh was rescheduled from Thursday to Sunday, then Sunday to Tuesday, then Tuesday to Wednesday, and now it's at 3:40 p.m. because of a Christmas tree. Pittsburgh will now play Washington on Monday, and Baltimore Dallas could potentially move to Tuesday. Ingram and Dobbins both eligible to play Wednesday. It has yet to be seen if they will play on Wednesday or not. So I don't know. Buffalo wide receiver John Brown was placed on IR with a high ankle sprain. Hope is that he only misses 3 weeks. That's most of your playoffs right there. So we're going to tell you how to adjust accordingly. Matty Big Chest is happy because Detroit has fired head coach Matt Patricia and GM Bob Quinn. Jacksonville fired its GM Dave Caldwell. So here's another good one, COVID-related news. All quarterbacks on Denver's roster were ruled ineligible to play versus New Orleans after being deemed high-risk, close contact, COVID source. Kendall Hinton was elevated to get his first start. He played at Wake Forest and was primarily a backup quarterback. We could see why. And in his senior season, he was a slot wide receiver. So he went 1 of 9 for 13 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. So Noah Fant was not that startable. Team is expected to sign quarterback Kyle Shermer, son of offensive coordinator Pat Shermer. He was a former Kansas City quarterback. And as of today, December the 1st, Lock Bortles and Ripon have all tested negative and will be allowed to re-enter the facility as of tomorrow. I don't know why this game was not moved. Somebody was telling me that apparently protocols were broken. That's why they didn't move this one. But technically, the Ravens staff member broke protocol. So if you move one, you should move both. Or maybe Roger Goodell hates Denver. I don't know. Okay, so Mark Andrews was also added to the COVID list. This is getting worse here. New York Giants quarterback Daniel Jones exited the game with a hamstring injury. Team is preparing for him to miss time. Carolina wide receiver DJ Moore leaves the game after a non-contact leg injury. X-rays were negative, and he could return after the team's bye, which is this week. Las Vegas Raiders. It shouldn't be the Las Vegas Raiders.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, whatever. Josh Jacobs has an ankle sprain. He could suit up this week. Still playing accordingly. We'll get there. Houston wide receiver Will Fuller suspended 6 games for violating the league's PED policy. In other news, we now know why he was healthy for 11 weeks. San Francisco wide receiver Brandon Ayuk comes off the COVID list. The NFL has announced a triple header for Saturday, December 22nd. Tampa Bay, Detroit, San Francisco, Arizona, and Miami. And I almost said the Las Vegas Raiders again. And some not good news. Indianapolis punter. I know we don't talk about punters, but Rigoberto Sanchez announces he has a cancerous tumor and will undergo surgery. So prayers up for him. Hopefully everything works out well there. And week 13 buys Carolina and Tampa Bay. NFL, just do better. Seriously. Like you have 1 week with all these bye weeks. Week 12 has none. Week 13 has 2. You can't figure out. There should have been a week 18 built into the schedule for reasons like this. Do better, and don't tell me that they only care about player safety because they care about money. That's that.
Right.
So that's all the news I got, unless I'm missing anything. Nate, before we talk some monkey knife fight, would you, as a Ravens fan, like to touch on the Pittsburgh Ravens game that might get rescheduled to 2034, according to the news I saw on Facebook today?
So, I mean, I'm a Ravens fan, but I personally think this game should have been forfeited. The Ravens should have been disciplined, a fine. Like they had someone in their staff break protocol, and that, that's the organization. That's the organization's fault. They should have done a better job of vetting. So they should be disciplined. Now, with this whole postponement, because the NFL wants the game in, it's not because they hate the Steelers and like the Ravens and hate the Broncos. It's because they couldn't play this game as long as the coronavirus pandemic inside the Ravens team was without control. They couldn't control it because the staff member didn't wear his GPS. So they didn't know who was high contact. They didn't know who could and could not have it. So there was no way you could put the players who had tested negative so far on the field because they might actually have it. So that's the reason this got pushed back. It's not because the NFL is playing favorites. It's because this is different than any situation yet, except for maybe the Titans earlier this season when they had to miss a game.
True.
So it's not that outrageous that everyone's making it out, especially Steelers fans and players. Like, bro, just ask for a forfeit, get a free W, stay out of coronavirus, and move on with your undefeated season. Man, we're going to lose tomorrow anyway.
So what you're saying is that you want to go swing at Chase Claypool?
No, it's not what I said.
Not recommended, personally.
No.
I mean, I think you could take him. So Chev's dad checking in. Pops, happy birthday, belated birthday, Pops. Pops' birthday was yesterday. So happy birthday to you. Love Pops around here at the Dynasty Rewind. And you know what else we love? We love Monkey Knife Fight. So I want to talk about Monkey Knife Fight. Hey, Rewinders, I want to tell you about a new and exciting way to play DFS. There's our friends over at Monkey Knife Fight. Monkey Knife Fight is sweeping the globe right now. You can place daily fantasy props on everything from football to soccer, golf, and even MMA. Don't bet on me in MMA. You're going to lose your money. When you head over to monkeyknifefight.com and use the promo code REWIND, all caps, Monkey Knife Fight will match your first deposit up to $50. Who doesn't like cashing in with house money? So one more time, that's monkeyknifefight.com and use the promo code REWIND when you make your first deposit to start rolling in those prizes today. So you got a ton of stuff that you could be doing in the off season. I mean, we don't know what there's going to be on Monkey Knife Fight based on the pandemic, but I mean, Dynasty Depot is definitely giving you some good options. Monkey Knife Fight is giving you some good options. Nate, do you have any good options for us that you want to talk about this week?
Yeah, I got a real simple one. It's the first one that pops up for the Baltimore Ravens Pittsburgh Steelers game, which, as of right now, we're assuming is happening. I don't think there's any way at this point they're not going to have it happen. They were able to get a walkthrough Monday night and a practice today, so looks good to go. Whether or not Dobbins and Ingram play, we'll see. But the game's happening, and this is just a 2-4. Just got to get 2 out of 2, okay? More or less. So we got passing yards for both quarterbacks. And like this game is just a wreck. So
And
good
Lamar
luck winning money
Jackson
on this.
Is out.
Lamar Jackson is out. So
Okay.
RG3 versus in Big Ben. All right. So
Jeez.
Big Ben, more or less 265 and a half passing yards.
For both of them or just Big
No,
Ben?
just for Big Ben.
Just Big Ben. That's an over.
I'm going
Or
to take
more.
more.
That's a
More.
more.
I'm gonna go under there.
All right. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to say less.
I'm gonna go under. I'm thinking the game's gonna be a 27-9 kind of game with a lot of running the ball, and that's gonna go under.
Okay, and Nate, you said less as well.
I do. Yep.
Pork, what did you say?
I said the more. I feel as
Okay.
though they're going to want to try to embarrass them
It's
and
but
just chuck the ball over.
with James Conner being out, I do worry about the Pittsburgh rushing game. I know Benny Snell has shined in the past a little bit, but is it going to be Anthony McFarland? I don't know if Jalen Samuel still necessarily exists.
He's
I don't know.
out for the game.
Okay, yeah, bye. All right, what do you have for RG3 then?
All right. So RG3, you know, the great passer he is, his more or less is set at 170.5.
Oh God.
That's pretty low, but that's a good number, man. That's a good number for them.
That's an easy under.
Okay,
Come on, man. Lamar's a tough time breaking 200 yards these days. What gonna do?
I'm going to take the less as well. Pork,
Yeah, I'll take less as well.
Nate, I'm assuming you're.
I'm taking the less, man. It's gonna be like 110 yards, maybe.
Right.
I mean,
Because who exactly is he throwing the ball to other than Marquise? Nobody.
Under.
Marquise ain't gonna catch it anyway. So
Mark Andrews is out.
Willie Snead is out.
What did I tell you about talking about Willie Snead on this
Dude,
podcast?
Willie Snead is good.
Do you have any scrub parlays for us for Thursday night by chance, or do you need to think of
I
that?
do have a scrub, more or less, for tomorrow night
Okay, yeah. Well,
because there is no Thursday night game.
There's no Thursday. Yeah, it got moved back.
oh, my
It's
bad.
supposed
That's
to be
right.
the Ravens Cowboys.
Okay. Well, what am I going to do on Thursday night now? On Thursday night I watch the Thursday night game and I prep for Friday night's podcast. I'm sorry. Proceed.
Guess you just get to go to bed earlier.
Now you come help me do waivers on 110 teams.
That's fine. We'll split it right down the middle. I'll take 55 of them. You take the other 55.
Right.
Go
All
ahead. What do you got?
So we were just talking about who's RG3 going to throw to, because Mark Andrews is out, Willie Snead's out, Marquise Brown can't catch and can't get open.
It's going to be gross.
Nick Boyle is gone. J.K. Dobbins might be
Jeez.
playing, might not be playing. You know, it's
I
rough
think-
out there.
I'll tell you where he's gone, Nate.
Well,
I have a name.
he's probably going to Des Bryant,
Nah,
but
I like Duvernay.
Duvernay, I like Duvernay too,
Duvernay too.
but they're not scrubs. You know who's a scrub? Miles Boykin.
You
Miles
think he's a
Boykin.
scrub?
I hate to say it, but the boy's a scrub right now.
He's cheeks.
So for fantasy points, are we going more or less? I'm just making this lineup right now because, you know, he's going to be their wide receiver 2 or 3. How about 3.5 fantasy points with RG3 throwing the ball?
Under.
Okay. All right.
That's just 2 receptions for 20 yards, man.
It's under, man.
I'm just going to have to say more out of necessity.
I'm going to take the more just because.
Nate, we gave him 110 yards total, me and you.
I know, man.
22% of that.
He could catch, but realistically, he could catch one pass for a half a yard and a touchdown, and he's over 3.5 points. So I'm taking more. Pork, you're taking that. Nels, you're
Yeah.
going less, and Nate, you're going.
I'm going less.
All right, great.
My gut says more, but I'm taking less because I like Duvernay. I think Des Bryant will be out there over Boykin, and I think Prochet might see some time. So
He should. He really should.
Yeah, he should have been seeing time anyway.
Be the leading receiver, 3 for 28 tomorrow.
He could be. I like Duvernay.
and
I
a rush for 12 yards.
You know, the
Three.
guy's versatile. They need to get him on the field more.
He's a good player.
But I don't need to tell you, Nate. I'm sure you're pretty aggravated with how this
Yeah.
is going. So it's just a shame. I know Trace McSorley's out. You know, if he was in there, this might be a different story.
He's better than Sean Clifford, so
Whoa.
Yeah.
By the way, I got to send this to you, Nate. I know you would appreciate it. So your arch nemesis, Cody, he said that there is somebody who came up with a YouTube channel completely devoted to Trace McSorley. Like it was when he was at Penn State, it started, and now like the guy has switched over to being a Ravens fan because Trace McSorley's there. I got to send you the link. It's ridiculous, man. It's terrible.
oh man,
So-
he's not that good.
He's not. He's gonna be exactly what he is, a practice squad third string quarterback. He's gonna stick around the NFL. His jersey's never gonna get dirty, and he's gonna get a paycheck. And he might be like a coach at like a D2 school one day. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna
Wow,
have,
high expectations.
he's gonna have
Right.
some money. He's gonna be fine in that regard. You know what I mean? He's not gonna blow out any ACLs.
Hey,
I can tell you.
Backup quarterback is the dream job.
It is.
Yes.
You ain't lying.
Dude, if I could be Chase Daniel, if I could be any player in the NFL, I'd be Chase Daniel, man. He got his whole life. He's healthy the rest of his life, and
And
he's
he's $7 million a year for the last 12 years.
oh my
Oh,
god, man.
Crazy. Actually, if you want to be any player in the NFL and you're not worried about injury, be Sam Bradford because that guy stole a lot of money from a bunch of different teams, man. He might still be
He
getting.
stole money from like 3 different teams. It's
St.
outrageous.
Louis is still paying him just out of the city's account. They're like, oh, Sam Bradford, here's a $10 million. So, all right. So that was Monkey Knife Fight. You can head over again. Use the promo code Rewind. A lot of great stuff over there. Hopefully, that gets into Pennsylvania soon.
I know. I want to send him a message because my boy tried to get on and he was upset about that because he's in PA and he couldn't log
Zach
in.
told me that they're working on it, but apparently Pennsylvania is very hard to get into with stuff like that. From what he told me, and hey, he does this for a living, so I'm not going to doubt him.
Right.
So let's talk some waiver ads. That is what we're here for. And Nate, when you have to bounce, just let us know. You said you can't say the whole time. So I'll tell you what, I should probably start with you because you have to bounce, but we're not going to because we have a guest. Nels, we're going to start with you, and I bet we're going to have some brainwaves here on some of this stuff. What do you got for us?
Well, right now, Dynasty and there's a Dynasty and redraft guy I like. And as usual, I'm ahead of the curve and been picking this guy up for about the last 5 weeks now. I think Gabriel Davis is a player.
Yes.
He's one of the few that you could fit into Dynasty and redraft. Yes, you got John Brown just got put on IR, right? So that's a minimum of 3 weeks. The only thing that concerns me with him is his targets. Even when Brown's been down a little bit, I think this week he was 3 catches on 4 targets, 79 yards, fluke touchdown. I believe it came from Beasley. But
Yep.
I think he's got skills. I've seen him drop a couple touchdowns. He could add a few more. I think he's a player, and I think that he's going to be the wide receiver 2 there next year.
I agree.
Feeling it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I do agree with
totally
that, and I had him written down as well.
No, you did.
Yeah, I like Gabriel Davis a lot, and you were spot on with his stat line: 3 catches, 79 yards, and a touchdown. I know you said it was a garbage touchdown, but hey, on the stat sheet looks the same.
It counts.
Good, but he, when you're talking about this kind of stuff, you could look at the stat lines all you want, but as us that are fans and probably more knowledgeable than a lot of people, he passes the eye test too.
Yes.
Okay, he looks like a player to me, and young guy, and in an offense that rock and rolls a lot, and I think I like him.
On the flip side, and I don't have it written down here, but what do you think about Cole Beasley too? He's been, I mean, this past week, stats wise, just as a receiver, only 2 catches for 25 yards. But hey, he was 1 for 1 through the air for 20 yards and a touchdown. So,
you know what? I got to tell you, it's really funny you said that. We are on the same page a little bit here. I own him on 27% of my team.
Okay.
As a deep bench guy that probably starts 50% of the games for me. Mm-hmm. He's startable, man.
And you probably got him cheap.
For nothing. He's a waiver wire pickup just to fill a spot, when things got a little goofy a month or two ago. And I have a lot of him, and I've been playing him.
He's been really good. He's been pretty consistent. I mean, he's had a couple stinkers in there, but just pulling his stats up here, week 7, 11 catches, 112 yards. Week 10, 11 catches, 109 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, some of his stat lines aren't great, but usually when he has a game where the receptions and yardage are lows, there's a touchdown in there. So, or he's throwing a touchdown. So Cole Beasley's a guy. He's obviously rostered higher than a guy like Gabriel Davis. But the nice thing about Gabriel Davis is, as you're saying, he could help you now, but you're absolutely right. He's going to help you in the long term too. So if trading is still open in your dynasty leagues, try to grab Gabriel Davis. He's not going to cost you a lot. If you're throwing a 3rd round pick for Gabe Davis, I'm going to take Gabe Davis over that 3rd round.
That's a great call again by you. That's probably his value. Most of the trading's closed, but that's really what his value is today. Third round pick. You might even see him go for a late 2nd somewhere. Later on. If he puts up another week or two, that looks real good. Mm-hmm. It's time to get him. You're probably a little late, but I would have him right now.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I do have another FFPC question for you, but I do want to just get a waiver guy from Nate real quick, just to make sure he gets at least one in if he's got a bounce in. So Nate, what do you got?
Yeah, so mine's kind of obvious. Ito Smith. I have a lot of Brian Hill, and I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I actually dropped Ito Smith in one of my deep leagues, so pretty pissed about that. But Ito Smith, man, he got the workload for the Falcons with Gurley out. So he had 12 rushes. He had 5 targets. He came up with 17.5 fantasy points, which gave him an RB1 finish. He was RB10 on the week. So as long as Gurley's out, which, I mean, I don't know what's going on with that, but it's Gurley. So you don't trust him once he's injured. Even if he comes back. Remember the Super Bowl when he had like 6 or 7 snaps and no one knew what was going on?
Mm-hmm. That was so weird. Wasn't CJ Anderson playing most of the snaps, right?
Yep. So Gurley's injured now. It's like the dam is broken. He's injured now. It's probably done for the season. Whether he's on the sideline or at home, it doesn't matter. So Ito Smith, he's going to be one of the guys you're going to have to spend more fab on because everyone's going to look for that because he did so well. But going into your playoffs, I mean, these are the guys you got to get off your waiver wire to be competitive in the playoffs because people start dropping. And you got this stupid Week 13 bye if you have CMC or Mike Davis. They're both on bye. If you have any Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're on bye. So you grab these guys and throw them in there. And, I mean, Ito Smith, if he continues to get more targets and touches than Brian Hill, he's going to be an RB2 every week. Because that team's playing from behind. They're passing the ball. In PPR leagues, he's going to be an RB2 at least every week.
That's a great call, man. There's players like that you're going to start in your fantasy playoffs, like Ito Smith and Wayne Gallman, that you had no possibility that was going to happen in your life, right? And you're not upset about it. Okay,
right?
They're productive.
It's crazy, man.
Yep. Yeah. I remember last year I won my home league championship starting Ryan Fitzpatrick against the Bengals and Brashad Perryman because Mike Evans went down.
Yeah.
And Chris Godwin. And they won me the championship. And as a Ravens fan, I hate Brashad Perryman. So.
Yeah, hey, who cares?
4 good years there, huh?
Oh,
right, it works. Right.
All right, Nate, I love the Ito Smith call. Hey, on the flip side, if you can't get Ito Smith, put in a claim for Brian Hill because you never know if Gurley stays out and Ito Smith gets hurt. Then you already have the next guy up if you have the roster space and you don't need something more pressing. Porkman, I know you got a good one for us. Come on.
Yeah. I want to go back a little bit to the Gabe Davis talk he was talking about before as well, because he was actually one of my guys I want to talk about. I believe there's 3 games he had where he had down weeks, but he also had touchdowns on them games that were called back from penalty, which sucked a lot. So a lot of people don't really get to see that because it's not on the stat line, or because I'm a degenerate and I watch Red Zone all day, so I get to see all the stuff that happens all day. But yeah, Gabe Davis is a great guy for me. Also, Latavius Murray, as long as Taysom Hill is the quarterback of the team, they have to run the ball. And as much as I love Alvin Kamara, he's not really so much of a natural runner in between the tackles. Latavius Murray is a guy who's a bruiser. You keep him in the red zone, he's going to pound the ball in there for you. He's an awesome jump cut type of guy. And he also can catch the ball out of the backfield if Kamara is not on the field at the time. So until until Drew Brees comes back, he loves to target Kamara 15, 16 times a game.
A quarter.
Latavius Murray's gonna go ham. Right. Yeah. So I'm loving Latavius Murray. He had 19 carries for over 120 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. And I think they played Denver this week, if I'm not mistaken. No, Atlanta. They played Denver last week. They play Atlanta this week. So yeah, you can probably start him.
Fire him up. Yeah. Who would have thought some of the highest scoring running backs in the league this week would have been Adrian Peterson and Latavius Murray?
Right.
Throwback, man.
Yeah. It's just weird. It's just all weird. So, Nate, I know you said you had to hop on out. So thank you again for everything, and we'll see you Friday.
All right, guys. Take care. Hey, nice seeing you, Nils.
All right, Nate.
Take care, guys.
You too. All right. I guess that kicks it over to me. Also, I wanted to mention before, if you're looking for Gabriel Davis, he's rostered in 1.1% of ESPN leagues and 3% of Yahoo leagues. So he's widely available. Go ahead and scoop him up. One of the guys I want to talk about should have a real chance here. Will Fuller's out. Randall Cobb's on IR. That's Isaiah Coulter from the University of Rhode Island. Excuse me. Grab him, stash him in redraft, but definitely a dynasty guy I like. He's not rostered at all. Nowhere. ESPN 0, Yahoo 0. So he's definitely out there. You're going to get him easily. Pops has a question. Has there been any news about the XFL? I missed that league. He missed NFL or XFL that we used to do with our rookies. Yeah, spring of 2022, right?
Okay. 2022.
Yeah. So you got to wait a little bit, Pops, but then it's coming back, and I can't wait. So, yeah, Nels, we do something here like when we're doing our rookie breakdowns. Once it starts to get past the top guys, we would play a game. Do you think this guy will be an NFL guy or an XFL guy? So we only got to see it for a little bit this year, and they folded, but
they did.
Yeah. What are you going to do? So, Nels, we're going to kick it back to you. You got anybody else for us?
I guess staying right where you just came from there. The number 2 guy in Houston is going to be Kiki Kuti right now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And if he can stay healthy, listen, Watson has looked for him in the past when he was healthy, and I kind of like him there.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I mean, so I've heard people talk about when someone goes down with an injury or suspension in this case. Well, we had both. Cobb went down with an injury. Fuller goes out with a suspension. Sometimes the next guy up isn't always the best guy up, for your fantasy team. Like maybe you look elsewhere. But I like what you're saying. Kuti has played with Watson in the past. He's been there for a while. He's got the rapport. Could be something. And it's one of those things where when the season's over too, what I see a lot of guys on dynasty rosters do, start purging their roster. Why?
No need.
Don't cut down until you have to. That could turn into something. If you pick a guy up and you have no intent, you play him once and you have no intention of ever playing him next year, and he gets you a 4th round pick, which later helps you move up into the 3rd or 2nd round, isn't that more important than
Mhm.
free fab dollars or nothing? Right?
People make that mistake a lot,
Yeah.
and you see it
Mhm.
a lot, and then you go into an off season, and a piece moves here and a piece moves there, and this guy is all of a sudden, somebody viable and worth something. Is an asset. You do see that a lot, man.
Now, one of the FFPC questions I have for you, and we had talked before the show. I told you that if I'm in a dynasty league where um, I'm not in it, I don't play the waiver wire as hard in the playoffs. I mean, I still always make sure that my lineups are set and current. I'm not starting out guys, not available guys on IR. So my roster is always full. But you told me in FFPC, no matter what position you're in, you're playing till the very end, right?
You are. It's the way it should. All leagues should be like this.
It should be that way.
Really, the top 6 teams are in the playoffs. Okay, the top 2, it's kind of weird. So you're head to head all season in FFPC. Then you get to the playoffs, and the top 2 seeds do not play week 14.
Okay.
Okay, so you have seeds 3, 4, 5, and 6 play 1 week, add them up, 2 highest scores move on. So somebody getting beat 190 to 188 isn't eliminated. The 2 best teams move on. Okay, and they enter the last 2 weeks, which is also an added up with the 2 teams that had buys. Okay, so you got 4 teams the last 2 weeks adding up scores. Highest scoring team wins the championship. On the flip side, the bottom 6 teams have a playoff where the 11 and 12 seed, they get a bye, and then the top 4, they do play head to head for the top pick, and that's how the picks are chosen. So just because you're the 12th seed, you don't get 101. Okay, so what it does, you got to fight for it. So it's kind of a fine line because you want to sell off, right? Most people want to sell off at the end of the year, trade Aaron Jones, grab a couple ones, blah blah blah. But that could land you put you in the 106 spot instead of the 101 spot. So it's really a fine line, but it really makes it interesting, and it makes it interesting straight through down at the end.
Okay, I like that a lot. That's a good way to do it. Like you said, you're fighting for that 1-1. You're not just gifting it. Yeah,
you're still picking up waiver people, straight out. You have to plan. You have to plan yourself a 16-week season. Not that your season's over after 13 because you didn't play off.
Now, some people say, I know sleeper leagues, you could do like the toilet bowl where the 2 bottom teams, they play for first overall pick. And I've heard people say, well, the team's been so bad and hurt all year. Now you expect them to win to get the better pick. You have to understand something. Fantasy football is a competition.
Correct.
You know what I mean? This isn't, you are competing. So you should always be competing no matter how you do it. Porkman, don't talk about my son's dynasty team there because they're not very competitive.
No, I didn't say anything at all, sir.
I know, I love it. That's actually one of my favorite teams. It's so bad. All right, so who are we back to now? Pork, I think we're back to you, right?
You could go with me. As much as I don't want to say his name, he has a good matchup because the Lions defense is so bad. You might be able to play Trubisky if you have a quarterback issue. They play the Lions. The Lions have a terrible defense. There's been a sieve out there, and honestly, he didn't look terrible. He looked better than Foles, I would say, in this matter. But he still does have Allen Robinson. If he can throw a semi-accurate ball to Darnell Mooney, who's open on every route, he can get him a long touchdown or something like that. And it's been a pleasant surprise. Actually, have a running game with David Montgomery had 100 yards last week, which is wild to me. He wasn't doing that any time before that. So if they can give him a good running game, give him some play action, run some boots. Hopefully Doug Peterson is listening to this. Just get a quarterback who's struggling, run him some bootlegs, get him open in space, and throw to some open receivers. I think he have a good game this week.
And Mike, we're not going to change the conversation to that last night because, man, that's going to be one long conversation. We'll be going deep into the night, brother.
We usually
I'm
only
an Eagles fan too, but
now let's not mess this show up, man. Let's
the only thing I will say is it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Okay. So
it was bad. We had 4 yards in the first quarter.
Now you got me. I'll throw one of you as the host.
Sure.
How does your best player, by far your best player,
6 carries,
get on the field 60% of the time, only get half the carries, I think, which was 6 carries last night, 7 carries. They don't – what are they doing with Sanders? I mean, that is just negligent as far as I'm concerned.
It's completely negligent.
Doug shouldn't call plays.
You're trying to protect the quarterback from his mess in his head. Okay, what's better than getting your best player out in some space and getting the running game going, and then be able to do your boots and your play actions? Everything's backwards there, man. It's just bad. The man had 4 fantasy points this week.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
It's like they penalized him for having those 2 drops. I'm like, bro, what happened? Give the guy the freaking ball. You over trying to force
one of those drops for that pass wasn't that great.
Yeah,
he should have had it, but I mean, like,
listen,
one of those where he doesn't catch it. I'm like, I get.
Going back here, I'm going to give you the answer to the problem. Going back as far as Deuce Staley's been with this team, straight to the Super Bowl, okay, he's running 3 backs out there, and he won a Super Bowl running 3 backs out there with Clement, Blunt, and Ajayi, right? So you're running 3 backs out there. It worked. The lightning in the bottle they're still trying to live by. You don't run 3 backs out there when you have Miles Sanders on your team. That's ridiculous.
Exactly. I agree.
It's ridiculous. Corey Clement does not deserve to get a carry inside the 10-yard line. There's no need for him to get that carry. He's not dynamic.
Also, you could have just stopped when you said Corey Clement does not deserve to get a carry. Could have stopped it right there. I mean, and look, I love Corey Clement for what he did.
Well, here,
but man, that was a long time ago.
It was,
and you got to move on. You have to.
But when you have a struggling quarterback like that, and that's just inside out in his head, what's better than a running game? And you have a horse there, okay? You got a thoroughbred there. You can't even swing the ball out to him because you're so inaccurate. You're throwing it at his feet. I mean, he had to touch the ball last night 30 times, as far as I was concerned. 30 times he should have touched the ball. Nobody else. I don't need to see Alshon Jeffrey on 5-yard outs. It's ridiculous.
He's so bad.
Alshon Jeffrey needs to be on the bench, as Travis Fulgham was doing way better than he was at that time. So why are you force feeding him the ball?
Listen,
that makes absolutely no sense to me.
That coaching staff could be looking for jobs in a couple of weeks. It's that ugly.
Yeah, and I hope that they are. You know, they got to do something. So, all right. Let's calm my heart down now.
Got me fired up, bro.
Try not to. So what I'm going to do is, it's back to me now. I'm just going to run through the guys that I had, and then I'll go around the horn again. And anyone else that we want to talk about, we'll just fire them out real quick. There's not, the waiver wire is getting pretty thin, but obviously there's always guys that I could be overlooking. Just got 2 here. One is Devontae Booker. Could see some extended time if Jacobs is out. Definitely a good guy to pick up and have just in case. He's also been kind of startable even with Jacobs there. Rostered in 5.3% of Yahoo ESPN leagues, 9% of Yahoo leagues. And hey, if you're really super desperate and Trubisky's not available, Colt McCoy could play this week. He's also not rostered anywhere. He was 6 of 10 for 31.
Warm body of the week.
Warm body of the week award goes to Colt McCoy. That's all I got. Aside from that, I just want to know, is Colin Johnson for real? He's a guy that I kind of like coming into the season. 4 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. We all thought it was going to be the Keelan Cole show. Rostered in 0.1% of ESPN leagues and a big whopping goose egg in Yahoo leagues. So, maybe snatch him up if you're in a deep league, see what he does. Maybe, kind of, sort of, something. Who knows? Glennon looked decent.
He did that. Colin Johnson versus Quintez Cephas bet looks pretty good for me now.
I don't remember all the bets we made. I gotta be honest.
I just remember that one.
So, all right, Pork, let's kick it back to you. Who else you got for us?
I got one right now. Cam Akers. He's starting to get some more snaps. He had 27% of the snaps, but he had 9 yards of carry. Yeah, he needs that. He's playing Arizona this week, and hopefully they decide not to throw Malcolm Brown out there because he's slow. He's not that good. Darrell Henderson looked good at times, but it seems like they're trying to hand the reins over to Cam Akers. He actually looked really good in between the tackles.
He's a good player.
Yeah, I like that
really
a lot.
good player.
Freaking
Frank Gore. he's getting the ball. And he's giving you a nice solid floor, and he's the only one there. Our boy LaMichael Piron, rest in peace. He's pretty much out for the year. He's not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jets have the Vegas Raiders, who aren't good against the run. So he might get 100 yards, which is far fetched. That's a possibility. He had 70 this week, so yeah, Frank Gore is actually startable and reliable. And that's I think that's
I give you
a bunch here, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, give the guy credit, but Nels, you got anybody else? You got one more, sorry, go ahead.
I'll throw a couple. Go ahead.
I just got one more. Alan Lazard. He looked good last week.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers loved the guy. He's probably available in some leagues as well. And I believe they have a good matchup as well.
Okay, perfect. Alan Lizard, as I call him. So great. Nels,
we're the Eagles.
Oh yeah, he's got a fantastic matchup. All right, Nels, we're gonna kick it back to you. You can finish it off for us.
Yeah, I have two here, and this guy always seems to come alive this time of year, toward the end of the year, and in a position that is about as tough to call as there is. Kyle Rudolph's playing some pretty good ball right now, and he's probably available everywhere. And he's playing good ball. It's 17 points. Well, I'm FFPC, which is 1.5 per reception for tight end. Okay. But he still, I believe he caught 6 or 7 balls again this week. He's playing good ball. Cousins is looking for him. He's startable right now. He's startable. And I'll give you another guy that look out for. And this is probably deep, and I'm probably gasping for air here. But DeAndre Washington is also somebody you better look at here, because I don't know how Gaskin's coming back, when Gaskin's coming back, what he's going to look like.
Yeah.
And those guys were putting the ball on the ground for Miami the other day, and they were putting the ball on the ground. And Washington looked pretty good, and he's looked good in the past. You know, he looked good when he was at Oakland at times. He had some big starts. Kansas City, I guess, didn't think much of him or didn't have any room for him there, but I'd look out for him.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, I don't hate that either.
Another guy, hey, grab him. Then you're the guy who's a week ahead of time. So,
yeah,
that's all I got. That's all we got. So thank you for tuning in to it's getting thin, you know, and unfortunately some of these guys only get to play when somebody goes down, but that's the nature of the business. So that is our waiver wire show. Nels, thank you again for coming on, taking time out of your time away with your family. Appreciate that. Before we head on out, why don't you tell everybody again where they could find you?
Dynasty Depot, you can find us at the Dynasty Depot. We really appreciate the follows. We're trying to build our following up there. Things are going really well at the Dynasty Depot. And if you go to dynastydepot.com, look around. If you decide you want to get a membership, please plug in Charter 20 and on the All Pro membership, which will get you our text notification service. And our auctions begin live on January 4th, and we are super excited, my brother.
All right. I'm actually on Dynasty Depot right now. This is a nice looking website.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's nice. I don't know who made that, but
Not me.
not me either. Yeah, I like that. Oh, look, upcoming appearances. There we are. That's awesome. Look at you. So yeah, Nels, thank you again for coming on, and Porkman, thank you for coming on as
Nope.
well. Because we always love talking to Porkman. So Porkman,
Anytime.
we find you.
You can find me at FF Porkman on Twitter.
All right.
DMs is always open 24/7.
DMs is always open according to Porkman, and I out here, as Porkman likes when I say, if you are so inclined, you can find me on Twitter at the MBauer85. I prefer you follow the show at Dynasty Rewind, just because I don't really tweet a lot about fantasy football, mostly about stupid crap that happens in my life. People seem to like that though. Till Friday, everybody. Thank you again for watching. Be kind. Please rewind. We'll see you Friday.
Thank you.